You just got. Go ahead and drink. You just got captured. You just got your radio school, and you got kicked out of radio school because you
said I went over the fence.
Because you went over the fence.
I went AOL.
What was the date on this? Was the end of 41?
Yeah.
This was just before the Pearl Harbor.
2 days before the war, I went over there on a destroyer to take, and the war started.
Yeah, and then, so you're in there.
The Langley and us went out and went to Borneo.
You went to Borneo with the Paul Jones?
No. Paul Jones was already down there. I went out on the Ford, I think.
Okay.
One of the destroyers that went out, I think it was on the Ford, and they gave me transportation back to Tarakan, Borneo, and I got Tarakan, Borneo, I got back on the Paul Jones.
Okay, this is just a continuation with Gene Schindler about how he wound up getting kicked out of Fleet Radio School, which saved his life 2 days before the war.
Yeah.
You got kicked out of Manila? Cavite?
Cavite.
They threw you out of Cavite Radio School. You had to go back to the fleet. They sent you on the Ford with the Langley, and you guys all went back down. You picked up
2 days after the 10th, we left.
Where did you pick up the Paul Jones?
Paul Jones come out and met us with three other destroyers. They were in Tarakan, Borneo, and they come up to help escort the Langley and whatever other ship we had out of that area. They met us out there. And
by the time they met you, the war had already started, hadn't it?
Oh, hell yeah. The war had been going 2 days before we ever got out of Manila. Out of the bay there.
Out of Cavite?
Cavite, yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't get bombed in that period.
Well, I think the only thing that saved us, the Langley was a seaplane tender. And she was tied over on the other side by Kanaka Hospital in the seaplane base. And they were after the Cavite Navy Yard. And I don't think they even saw her. Because they sure to hell would have bombed her if they'd have seen her.
They eventually got her, but it was...
Yeah, they didn't get her till you got way out in the Indian Ocean.
A couple of months later.
Yeah, at least.
3 months later.
I don't think it was 3 months. It was 2 months anyway. I don't think she ever went into Chillichap. I don't know where the hell she went after I got off. I left her when we got to Borneo. I left her, whatever ship I was on, went into Tarakan, Borneo, and I got back on the Paul Jones. And the Dutch had a bunch of airplanes there, and they just all got caught on the ground. Big air base.
Well, you were kind of lucky to get out. You said out of all those, how many radiomen were in school there in Manila?
There's 58 of us. 3 of us got out. I don't know how the other guys got out of there. I got kicked out. But anyway, 3 of us got out of there. And the 55 of them that got captured, 7 of them lived through the war. This buddy of mine weighed about 80 pounds, less than 100 pounds, and he was up in Kobe in the gold mine. in the coal mines. Kobe.
In Kobe, Japan.
When the war ended.
Yeah.
They heard atomic bombs. They were clear down in a good spot. They were down the coal mines.
What was his name?
Ken Lusk.
Ken Lusk.
He was off the Boomer.
The Boomer?
Bulmer. 222. The Bulmer. Bulmer.
Which was another four-piper?
Another four-piper.
And so he was there, but he was one of the 7 out of the 50 or so that survived.
55 of them got captured.
Wow, plus that's a lot. That's a high death rate.
Yeah, plus they got the chief that was running the thing and a couple of instructors. So you just back up to your 58. Those 3 took care of us 3.
Yeah.
And when we got out of there, when I went aboard the Gwin, one of the guys was already on there. He was a storekeeper, second-class storekeeper. I went to turn my papers in on the Gwin, and here he is. I said, "How the hell did you get here?" And he said, "I got transferred to hazardous duty." I said, so they had 2 of us screw-ups on the Gwin.
2 screw-ups on the Gwin.
And one time we was out there sailing along, and this comm officer says, "Are we fighting this whole damn war with guys that just screw up?"
Everybody that screws up goes to hazardous duty.
Hazardous duty. You just volunteered.